Hi, I'm Nick, owner of Not Just Lumber. Welcome back to our showroom. I thought today would be fun if we went on a tour of our 5,000 square foot shop. Let's get started. We'll start with our Woodmizer slab flattener. This is the wide model, so we were able to do 6 foot wide and 18 foot length. It is all controlled by a power feed in the X and Y axis, and then we can manually adjust the height until we get it down to where we are perfectly flat. It has a 3 horsepower motor with a 5-inch indexable cutter head, carbide. It has a pretty substantial steel base to it. It has 4 hold down clamps that we can secure pieces down. We are able to cut all of our slabs with this. So anything that we offer for sale in the front retail section, we cut and flatten on this machine. We can also do customers' slabs. If you have just a solid wood, or if you have an epoxy river table, we're able to flatten all of those, as well as cookies, bigger pieces, big beams. We are able to do 8-inch height. And this is one of my favorite tools in the shop. This is our Cantek's dual-sided planer. It has a 25-inch width capacity, 8-inch height. It is a 50 horsepower machine. This has its own 200 amp service. It is a 460 volt 3-phase machine. What differentiates this between most planers is that it has a joiner bed in the front. So this bed is able to go up and down independent of the rear. It has a spring-loaded carpet drive. So under here it has a whole bunch of pins that move up and down. So it is able to take a board that has a cup or a bow or a twist and be able to flatten it with the lower cutter head right here. And then it moves on back. And then the rear cutter head above it takes it and makes it a parallel board out the end. It is able to take 1/4 inch off of each side, so you can take a 1/2 inch off of the board in one pass. We use this a lot. This planes every board, from a rough board that we get from the sawmill down to the boards that we sell in our showroom. And we also do custom work with this. So if you have a countertop or any board, I guess, that would have a bowl or a cup, we're able to plane it flat and true with this machine. It has spiral index cutters for both top and bottom cutters, so it leaves a pretty smooth finish. This is another machine that gets a lot of use here in the shop. This is our Cantek's straight line rip saw. So this will put a straight edge on a board. It is a 12-inch blade. It has a 3 1/4 inch height capacity and an 18-inch width capacity for the rip. So you would make your initial cut with the laser that would guide your edge on the board, and then you would move your rip fence to cut whatever width you want, and then feed it through. It is powered by a Caterpillar drive. So this is a steel chain that pulls the board through. It has pressure rollers on either side of the blade that hold it down, and it'll put a glue line straight edge rip on an 11-foot board. And then we have, from back in my old cabinet building days, we have a Grizzly 5 horsepower shaper with a 1 horsepower feed on it. We don't use this much anymore, but I do have it here to use for my own personal stuff. We have a fair selection of bits for it. And all of our machines are connected to a central dust collection through our Nordfab style quick connect with a smooth wall pipe, which is absolutely fantastic. It all gets transferred into our collection bin, which is fairly substantial. It is 4 foot by 8 foot by 12 foot tall. Its purpose is to collect all of the big chunks and any dust that it can before it hits our Cyclone dust collector. We are still in the process of acquiring our briquette press, so that is going to be later down the road whenever it gets done manufacturing. So it will take all the chips from the bin, and it has a hopper on top of it that will process those into like a hockey puck sized chunk of wood again. So it takes that and hydraulically pressure pushes that into a block that you can use for heating your house or camping or anything of those. There's a quick, easy to start firewood source. So once we get that, we will be bagging our dust up, and we will offer that for sale up in the retail section. After it hits that collection bin, it goes through our Grizzly 7.5 horse Cyclone dust collector. And it sure is nice at the end of a long day to have nice clean air to breathe. In the corner here we have our little air compressor. It's piped through the whole shop, and we have several hose reels that we can clean stuff off with. And then here is another tool from the past. This is our Grizzly 12-inch sliding table saw. So this has a 10.5 foot long slide capacity. And we do still use this machine. We are able to run wider panels, rip stuff down that our straight line rip saw cannot do in the width. This can do a 52-inch wide. And over here, we are in the process of working on our cash register stand. So we have the top here all finished up. And we made this one out of spalted maple, hard maple, and it has a Odie's oil finish on it, which turned out really nice. And over here on the bench, we have some white oak boards, and these are actually boards we sell in the store for white oak shorts, is what we call them in there. And they'll work perfect for covering the front facade of the register stand. We're gonna stain them black with some Rubio Intense Black pre-color, and then we'll be putting Rubio oil on that as well to finish that. Some other tools that we have, miscellaneous stuff, is we have some Festool. I enjoy their sanders, and I have both their dominoes and connectors and their track saw as well, along with several miscellaneous tools and clamps and the usual stuff you would have. This here is a 1960s model Clark forklift. It is a 12,000 pound capacity. It has 6 foot forks on it, which is fantastic for loading and unloading our vacuum kiln we have. So the internal trolley on this has about a 65-inch capacity. So that is perfect for loading this machine, which takes us to, I believe, the world's most expensive and probably largest space heater we can buy. This is our vacuum kiln. This has a 160-degree internal temperature, so it gets plenty toasty in here in the summertime. I might appreciate that when it's 30 below out, but so we'll open this up for you. Take out our load that we have of slabs that have just dried. So this has a fully stainless steel interior chamber. We have a capacity of, like I said, 65 inches wide, 16 foot 10 inches long, and about 60 inches tall. which turns into about 4,000 board feet if you have a perfectly sized load to go in here. Right now we are drying some white oak slabs and some walnut slabs. We have a goofy baffle system in here right now so that the air that circulates through the machine doesn't bypass through this big hole, and it forces the air through the gaps in the boards to dry them evenly. It has an internal trolley like I talked about right here that rolls out onto this platform over here so that we can load and unload stuff through the side. We're not loading through the end of the machine. We are able to dry custom wood. So if you have wood that you have slabs or you have anything that you want to dry, it specializes in thicker material. It'll dry approximately 1 week per inch of thickness. So it's pretty quick as far as getting larger pieces dried quick. So you may have noticed a scenery change. We're over in the metal shop right now, where we are in the future are going to be manufacturing metal table legs, and we have a CNC plasma cutter cutting sheet metal parts out behind me here. We'd originally purchased this wide belt sander here to process the parts off the plasma table to be able to sand them. But in the requests for people wanting wood projects sanded, we have decided to change the use of this machine, and we will be putting it over into the wood shop here in the future. So right now we have it hooked into an old dust collector we had so that we can use it here as it sits. So like I said, this is a Grizzly 37-inch white belt. So it has a 36.5-inch width capacity and a 6-inch height. It is able to be used for solid wood projects as well as wood mixed with epoxy. So it can be a huge time saver for lots of people. We will sand it down in multiple passes from a 60 grit to 100 grit to 150 grit, which is, like I said, a huge time saver and alleviates a lot of time for most hated part of the woods project, which is hand sanding everything. So most people can take this right off of this machine with a random orbit with 150 grit. If you want to use a Rubio monocoat finish on it, that is a perfect combination. Hope you enjoyed this tour of our shop. These tools are designed to get projects done faster. A few recent projects we've had come through the shop have been countertops, cutting boards, an outdoor dining set, tables, shelves, and mantles. If you think any of these tools would help you get your project done faster, stop on by. We'd love to see what you're working on.